Okay, so today I'll talk to you about 3D printing, but that will come at the very, very final phase of my talk, because I would like to focus on what I find more interesting, and I believe you'll find it too, is about the design process and how can 3D printing technology in full colors can support the design process and the design workflow. So let's start from the very beginning. According to McKinsey's research from back 2018, design-oriented companies outperformed their industry benchmark by 200% in terms of revenue and total return to shareholders. They followed, I think, 500 American companies and followed their performance over maybe 300, over 5 years. And they divided those companies into 4 quarters, from no design to design-driven companies based on specific criteria, like the number of designers they have and so on. And these are the results, which I find stunning. You know, design has a huge, huge impact on business. On the other hand, say McKinsey, 2 years later, on 2020, they made another study, and they find out that 66% of CEOs in the industry have no clue what their design leaders are doing. So on one hand, we see that design has a huge impact on business performance in almost any vertical, but the CEO, the decision makers, don't really understand what design is all about. How does that make sense? So a little bit about me. My name is Yariv Sade, and I am an industrial designer and a product design manager. I had a design company called Igloo Design, which I co-founded many, many years ago. I also teach at the university, including in here, not today, but some years ago, MA student, design students. And for many, many years, I was developing many products in almost any vertical. I published many articles, and my works were published, and I won some of the leading and most prestigious product design awards. And my professional and personal, I could say, mission is to connect between designers on one hand, and business and business managers, to help both sides to benefit more from design. If you like, to push design from the decoration and function level to the strategy and business management level. This is what I'm doing for many years. As part of this activity, I developed some method to help designers better communicate their design to business people, and vice versa, to help business people who do not understand design, according to McKinsey, to understand the design in their eyes, meaning not only how beautiful it is, but how can it support their business. In other words, how to translate the impact of design to dollars, which is the language that business people understand most. So as part of this activity, I developed two main working methods, and these are both of them very practical ones, not theoretical ones. One called PDM, which is the creating method, product design method, to help product designers to make better decisions and to expand the design option during the product design, during the creation process. And the other one, I called it PPM, for people, place, model, to help both designers and decision makers to evaluate the design, again, from a business perspective, not from, beauty perspective, if you like. So the PDM, the product design method, is a very simple method. I will not go into it, just one slide. We don't have the time, but the basic of this method is to use some canvases like the one you see here, to expand the option, to make sure we are not forgetting or missing some opportunities. And it includes some options mapping, And by following some guidelines, very simple guidelines, designers can not only achieve better design quality, but also accelerate the design process. And as I mentioned, I will not focus on this today. I would like to focus on the evaluation phase. And I think that today, in most cases, both designers and managers, decision makers, do not really know how to make the right and most effective design decision that related to what I call the product soft attributes, the ones that are very hard to evaluate because they are mainly based on, personal opinion, unlike engineering that you can test in a lab. According to the BEA, which is the Bureau of Economics in the United States, there are the durable goods GDP, which is the entire market size, if you like, is $1,616 billion. That's durable good. It means physical products, not including consumable like food and packaging and so on, and not including software. The software industry market size is 453. All the high-tech and thing, it's about 1/3 compared to the tangible, physical business in the United States. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, there are 32,000 active industrial designers in the US and 200 web designers. The combination of these two, facts lead us to the conclusion that for every $1 billion GDP, there are 20 industrial designers and 440 web designers. It's a ratio of 1 to 22. Any idea why? It doesn't make any sense to me. The need is more or less the same need, right? The only reason I believe that this ratio is so, is so fantastic is the fact that in the software world, decision makers can capture, evaluate, and see the value of design. They have A/B testing and similar tools that they can see that if they change the website backgrounds, font, photograph, whatever they have, after 5 minutes, the conversion, the sales, whatever the goal of the site is or the product is, changes. It's very easy to capture and measure the value of design. And this is why they invest in design so much more compared to physical products, while the need and the value is more or less the same. The way that physical product designers make decisions and communicate their design to their stakeholders, if it's clients, if it's managers, is in such situation. They have a meeting, design review meetings. They present, in most cases, the design during the design process. They present the design on screen with rendering illustration. They talk about it, and they make a decision. My opinion, your opinion, the boss wife's opinion, that's the way it works. And I say that this is not good enough. It's good, it works, but it's not good enough. You cannot reach, the most effective and the most, I would say, the right design decision for a specific use case in such method. One of the main challenges that designers face to communicate their design is to present physical object, for promoting or for communicating a physical model that at the end of the day will become a physical product. Because today it is too expensive and time-consuming to produce full color, what we call CMF color material finish models. So the industry found a very nice workaround. What they do, they literally split the design information into two mediums, And as you can see in here, this is a great example. The shape, the geometry is presented as a single color model, 3D printed model, and the CMF, the color material finish, as a 2D illustration. Why? Because they have no choice. Is it good? Good, but not good enough. Is it good enough to make, the final 5% of the right design decision? I don't think so. They literally split the 100% design information into two different mediums. It's like, think about seeing a movie and just watching the video without the audio, and then after an hour or so, listening to the audio without the video. Now try to merge. You have 100% of the information in your head, but not together. Now try to merge it in your head. It doesn't make any sense, right? The same is here. I was visiting a studio called Minimal in Chicago, United States, before COVID time. And I took this picture that you see on the right. It was in one of the meeting rooms. They created some kind of massage gun, okay, for a client. And this is the way they presented it on the wall. They literally placed 50% of the information, of the design information, as single color printed models, and the CMF as 2D illustration. And they expect their clients to merge those two types of information in their mind. Crazy. I was working for a company called Green Onyx some years ago, and we developed a technology to grow a very special vegetable that you see here in the picture. It's a vegetable. It's a water vegetable. It's not algae. It's a vegetable. It's small. We called it green sesame. It's very, very healthy. It has the nutrition value of spinach and kale and broccoli combined, and it's very easy to consume. Fantastic. It's not out there yet. I'm still waiting. Anyway, we wanted, since it's totally new, by the way, it's grown naturally in Thailand, but that's it. And we wanted to check, to test if the market, mainly the American market, will accept this new product, a new flavor, of course. So we brought in people to the office and gave them some, a spoon and what you see here, and asked them to taste it and to get their feedback. But then we realized it's not enough. It's not good enough because it's a sterile environment and, if you like, a synthetic situation. And we wanted the real feedback. So what we did, we went to people's houses, in this case in Colorado area, and literally invited people, housewife and potential users to try the product. Not only to taste it, not only to taste the flavor, but to try using it in a real-life situation, to cook with it, to taste it, to let their children try it, and so on. And it's amazing the differences that we received between what I call synthetic testing in the office and real-life environment and situation. Totally different, not to mention about the ideas. One of them even tried to make some cocktail with it, something that we never thought before. And shifting from the left situation in office, sterile environment, decision-making, design decision-making, to a real-life situation could be a game changer in some cases. Just think about packaging design. The situation that you can take a model to the store, the right store, and place it on the right shelf and get real-life situation, people feedback. It's like A/B testing, like software A/B testing. And software A/B testing has a huge, huge business impact. It can improve the conversion rate by 5, 10, maybe more % for nothing, just changing from light blue to dark blue background. That's it. Not to mention if it's a bigger design change. I I like to split the design communication mediums into 2x2 groups, if you like. One is full color versus single color, and the other is 2D versus 3D. The only design communication tool that includes 100% of the design information is, I'm talking about physical models, physical products, of course, is what we call CMF model, meaning the model that looks like and feels like the real thing. All the rest are either do not have the color or do not have the 3D. And don't get it wrong, 3D illustration on screen, it's not a real 3D, it's a flat screen. It looks like 3D, but it's not. Let's talk about the situation and place, what I call the P of the place and the environment. This is a very nice experiment made back in 2007 in Washington, D.C. subway. The man you see in here is called Joshua Bell. It's one of the most successful violinists in the world. They placed him in the subway station, and he was playing there for a few hours. Out of 1,097 people that passed Bell by, only 27 people gave him some change, and actually only 7 of them literally stopped and listened. By the way, the violin he uses cost $1 million. Okay, some of those 1,097 people that didn't pay attention to him probably would pay, I don't know how many hundreds of dollars to listen to his concert next week, the following week. Because of the situation and the environment and the mindset of the people in a subway station, they didn't pay attention. This is beautifully demonstrate the importance of the environment. As human beings, our perception is very much influenced by the situation, the environment, the location, and our mindset. Let's talk about models. Are you excited when receiving something you ordered online, unboxing it? I guess we all are, right? Think about it. We've seen the product that we ordered online from probably 20 different angles, 20 different colors. We read a spec sheet, data sheet, we saw some video, we read reviews, and we're still excited meeting it in person. Why? We will not be as excited the following morning seeing it again, because it is new to us. Meaning that we will learn something new. It could be good, it could be bad. We will learn. We know that we will learn something new when meeting the product in person, even though that we know everything about it. This is, again, I think it demonstrates the importance and the added information, even if it's not a tangible information, but something, I call it more channels to capture the product, the design, the experience. We always believe and understand that we will learn something new when meeting. By the way, it's the same with people. Think about meeting in a Zoom compared to meeting face-to-face. You can see, you can hear, you have all the information, but it's definitely not the same. This company from Melbourne, Australia, the name of the company is Big Plan. Their entire business model is based on the fact that their customers could not understand and capture the interior design on screen. And they are providing, they have a big hangar, and they are providing a one-to-one scale 2D sketches of the house planning. So people will be able to capture the real design. The only factor that they play with is the scale. Nothing else. And still they have a good business, because some people cannot capture the design on screen. It's the only difference is the scale. So think about all the other aspects. textures, color, feeling, weight, and so on. CMF, as mentioned, CMF is color, material, finish. That's the external skin of almost any product. And in most cases, this is a typical, I would call it, old product design process. We start with the function, it should work, the product, and then spend a lot of time and efforts about the shape design, the geometry of the product, and at the very final stage, the CMF design comes in. In most cases, by the way, it's the same designers that are responsible for the whole process. In some, for instance, in Google, they have CMF designers. They have not, the CMF is a specific, expert. But today, they should work like this. The CMF is part of the design, of the shape design. It should be in dialogue with the shape. It cannot start at the very end. Otherwise, you miss a lot of opportunities. And we want to make the design decisions as early as possible, because the later we make it, it's more expensive in terms of time to market and R&D cost. So to achieve high quality CMF finishing, all those products that you see, in Design Awards website, those that win the Red Dot and IF and IDSA, those designs could not be made in a way that the CMF is only at the very final design phase. You can't make it in this way. You have to think of the CMF as part of the design. It's not a graphic design, if you like, on top of the geometry. It's part of the product design, and this is how the way leading products work today. CMF also has a huge impact on production technology and production complexity. The earlier we start the CMF, the earlier we can start the production preparations. And again, it will can save a lot of time and accelerate the product time to market. Now, I don't remember if I mentioned it. Ori mentioned it. I worked at Stratasys, and we are leading the market of 3D printing with a very special capability of full color 3D printing. This is a whole new solution. When I say new, it's maybe 5, 6 years old, and we are just launching it to the market, and I want to show you why this can dramatically improve product design quality and product time to market. So this is the first office-friendly full-color 3D printer. It's called J55. We launched it, when was it? I think 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago. It's a home fridge size, and it can print in full color. This is the inside of the printer. It prints, in this case, sport bottles. What you see in here, it's one print, okay? People keep asking me, how do you add a color? We do not add a color, it's one process from scratch. Now, why is it so important to start the CMF much earlier, and how 3D printer can support not only the design quality, but also, as I mentioned, the product time to market. This is a typical, very schematic, high-level product design process. We have on the x-axis the time, and on the y-axis we have the different design stages, starting from concept to detailed design, and then finally CMF. This is on the very left we have the communication mediums, rendering, single color models, and CMF models. This is the way, generally speaking, very high level. Of course, in real life it's much more complicated, but just to explain the idea. This is the plan, okay? In real life it looks like, sorry, I didn't mention, the dots are design review meetings, where we finished the concept, for instance, concept design stage. We have a meeting, we discuss or we communicate the design with rendering illustration, and after choosing one option, we continue. In real life, it looks like the red line. Why? Because after every review meeting, there are some delays and thoughts and thinking and so on. This is more real-life situation compared to the, if you like, the optimal plan. Now, the red zone is what I call too vague or too late. Too vague means we don't have enough communication means because we don't have full color models, CMF models, and the too late, when we do have the model, that's too late. We do not want to make design decision in this too late or too vague zone. It's either too late or we make not the right decision or not sharp enough decision. We want to make design decision in the green zone before it is too late and when we have the best design communication means. The thing is that we do not have the option because there aren't any CMF model at that stage typically. And this is why I think our technology is not about creating, beautiful models, which they are beautiful, I'll show you in a minute, but it's about raising the design quality, raising the confidence of the decision maker. Think about it, two different scenarios. One, let's say I'm the whatever company design manager, and I want to push the design boundaries further to come up with a more innovative design. And I send the decision maker, let's say the company's, I don't know, CEO or marketing vice president, I send them a rendering illustration. And then he probably will say, this is very beautiful, but too risky, right? They don't want to take a risk. It's too dangerous. They prefer, to reduce the innovation level by 20% and reducing the opportunity to fail by 50% or 80%. But if I could take a physical model and place it on their desktop, instead of sending them an email, by the way, they probably paid attention for this email for 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, that's it. But if I place the physical model on their desk and leave it there for a few days and tell him or her, think about it, and I'll talk to you in a few days. And then somebody walks in and say, wow, this is amazing, what is it? And they start to talk about it. And then another one walks in and says, wow, amazing, totally different situation. That raises the confidence of the decision maker. And we want the option to, to have like quick, fast forward to the green zones as part of the design process. And in order to do so, because to produce full color models, CMF models, it takes, with traditional technology, it takes a week or two, depending on the design. Most cases, most companies do not have this option. And this is why I think that this technology could be a game changer to raise the design quality, push the boundaries of, decision maker confidence, and accelerate the design process, as you can see in here. Some samples of the technology. We can produce, we have the speaker in here? Yes, just, we can mimic almost any kind of material. In this case, you can see a speaker finishing. That everything is plastic and it's a single print. We can see both the screen in this case and the fabric-like material. I'll pass it around. Please make sure to bring it back. That's the inside, everything, the plastic, the screen, the transparent, whatever it is, and the external fabric. This is a video which I'd like to show you. Just a second. Okay. Consulting firm that's focused on developing and integrating advanced technologies to drive innovation. There are sales and
specific consumer personally, when you're developing a product around packaging, it's critical that the end decision maker can hold the final product in their hands. And that's where the J55 comes in, is that we can adapt to consumers faster and at a higher level than we've ever been able to do before. By being able to have 3D printers available to our kinetic vision design team, we're able to shorten that design cycle. It's incredible, the impact of the J55 on our process. What we typically do is really amazing images or graphics, and we put that up on the wall, and then we let the consumers or the clients view it. However, with the J55, we can actually get there in just a few days to a place that is on the edge of reality, which is something we've never been able to do before. We actually have coined the term retail-ready prints, to where it looks like it should be on shelf, and where in almost the same amount of time we were only going to here. I mean, which one would you want to show, right? So for this particular concept, we were doing a design sprint. We wanted to see what would actually happen if we added the J55 to that process. And so we decided to do a retail drink. And so we developed a brand, we developed graphics, we developed structure, and we did all of that within a 2-week period.
Not only are the graphics intricate and colorful, but we're playing with opaque materials, we're playing with transparent materials, which is one of the reasons why we are leveraging the J55 printer, because we can take advantage of all of its unique features to really make those ideas come to life.
So we have alternate lids that we've created. You can see that actually intertwines and works. There's actually liquid printed in this, so you're actually seeing the color that's actually inside, that the passion tea would actually be colored. So it's printing completely transparent and colored transparent colors at the same time, as well as opaques. So if we were showing this to a client, we can give them every detail of the product itself, which is absolutely incredible. Being able to leverage PolyJet technology, the J55, we're able to jump past some of those firms that are not adopting that technology. We sent this to a customer, and they called us and said, hey, where can we actually buy this product because it looks amazing? We said, no, that product doesn't even exist. That's just a product we created. And they were stunned because of the J55 print. They thought it was actually real. We give our customers a competitive edge. They're able to take their product to market faster, develop better products, be the best on shelf. To be able to hand this to a client and to watch their eyes light up, their mouth open up, and say, oh my goodness, how did you do this? How long did this take? That's their responses. It's amazing. And so the impact for them is incredible, and obviously all of that reflects back on us.
All right. Okay, so we have this model in here made by Kinetic Vision, as you could see in United States. Just think about the value of placing such, whatever it is, food, drink, I don't know, fruit drinks on the shelf. Let's say you have 5 different designs, and instead of making a design decision which one is the right one in the office on screen, placing it on the shelf and collecting feedback from real users. It takes 1 day. And it costs, to print such model, it costs maybe $100, $200, and 1 working day, that's it. And think about increasing the design quality, accuracy by 1%, 5%, 10% in terms of business impact to this company. It's like software A/B testing in a way. And you cannot achieve it without people, the right place, and the right model. It's not accurate enough. I'm not saying you get it totally wrong, but you cannot, make it the final 15, 10, 5% of accuracy, design accuracy, cannot be achieved in most cases. You can have a look at this. What else? Yeah. This is a nice example of a whiskey bottle. One of them is a real whiskey that you can enjoy, and the other one is a model. Can you tell which is which? Okay, these are the printed one.
Because it's full. Because it's full.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we missed that part. We made a sample kit to help our sales teams to sell the value to designers and design-oriented teams. We call it a Design Inspiration Kit. You can look, we have it in here. And we call the Design Inspiration Kit because the idea is not to promote our printers, but to promote the solutions, the value it can bring to designers, not to mention to inspire them. We call it pebbles. Each one of those is a pebble that demonstrates different capabilities like soft materials, moving part. This one is for the car industry. This one, it mimics mahogany finishing, leather, and carbon, and many others. Each one of them is, again, demonstrating different capabilities. You can have a look at these as well. Here are some more examples. Good question. We have a few machines. The J55 is the only office-friendly printer. We have bigger ones called J850, J2, whatever, but there are bigger ones for bigger. They have a bigger tray and bigger production volume. These are all printed packaging. Very, very strong value for the packaging world. In this case, cosmetics models, speaker. We are collaborating with Keyshot. Are you familiar with Keyshot? It's a leading rendering software, and we are working very closely with them. And today, we can print directly. You can export 3MF files directly from Keyshot to GrabCAD, which is the software that runs the printers. And what you see on screen, you just click and print it. And in a few hours, you have we call it physical rendering model. This is the biggest printer. It has 7 different channels, 7 different materials, model materials, plus one for support. You can have a CMY, black, white, transparent in the same models, and rubber-like materials as well. Beside now I'm shifting to a two final slides or two final few slides, totally different value proposition. These are what you see in here. These are printed dress, final products, not models, not CMF models, final products. That this is absolutely new. We actually did not launch the product yet. It will be launched on this coming June at the Milano Design Week. And we are collaborating with Dolce & Gabbana and Balenciaga and Chanel and some others for printing on textile. By the way, it's not only for fashion, it's also for furniture and car interiors and shoes and bags and so on. Very, very, very attractive. I'll show you some samples. We can achieve, printing quality that no other technology can reach. This is a zoom in, on the particles on the fabric. What you see below, beneath the thing is this area. That's the fabric, and we literally print on the fabric, on the textile. Here's another example. Let me show you some. I need my 2 hands. Can you hear me without the mic? Okay. We print literally, these are all samples. We print on a piece of fabric and achieve such option. Designers, fashion designers love it. They struggle that they have to shift from manual designing to Rhino, but it's worth the effort. Here's another example. Again, yeah, you can. Okay, this model, I don't know if you can see, it changes colors. Can you see it? Yeah. So every Sorry. All right. Every Oreo will be the dialect. Every part, maybe under the light. Come here, Ori. Yeah. Okay, every particle in here is a micro lens, and it's like a transparent lens, very tiny one, and underneath there are two different colors. So depending on the angle you look at it, you see the different colors. So while you move with this address, with this, we call it butterfly, it just changes color. Very, very nice, I believe. Some other samples, I'll pass those around, but here. Okay, you can see some other design. Wood.
Can I ask you just how is this fixed? Because on this side you see nothing, and here it is goes up.
Yeah, we place the fabric on the printer tray, and the printer head just moves back and forth and build those spikes. Yeah, I can show you some. Google Stratasys printing fashion. You'll see how it works. Back to the CMF. This is we can mimic wood. This is a spatula made of plastic and wood. And again, it's a single print, 5 minutes. All right, pass it. What else can I show you? Just to demonstrate the capabilities. This apple, some people try to bite it, but you shouldn't. And we have a problem, you know, promoting our capabilities online. People don't get it. When we promote it like this, they think it's either the real thing or Photoshop. So we started to promote it like this. So you can see half like the common 3D printing and our technology. Okay, you can come over here to watch, to look at some other samples. Just make sure that we will get them all back, all right? And last thing I want to show you is what we call the PolyJet. PolyJet, by the way, if I didn't mention that, the technology is a research package, which is research package is a special piece of software that mainly universities and some research institutes buy. It's allowed them to hack the printer, if you like. You can, what we call voxel print. Voxel is 3D pixel. So you can literally control each voxel and define what color, what material you want it to be. You can pause printing and embed different materials like PCBs or whatever inside the print. We can print liquid, which is I think very, very interesting. Think about it, printing liquid and then have plastic on top of it. You can have like, I don't know if they show it in here. You see this, it's hard to see, but inside here it's a liquid. You can see the air bubble and it's blocked in. And finally, we can print even air. We can print air. It sounds funny, but you know, when you print air, you cannot print on top of it because you need to have support underneath. But we have a special workaround that allows us to print air voids. So this is basically it. If you want any more information about either the design process and values and methods or the PolyJet technology, feel free. I'll be here all until the evening. Feel free to reach me out, and you can have my email. And thank you very much.